My intentions of this game and how I play is that I'm looking for kills. That's the first thing I'm doing. If I see you, guess what? It's on sight. I'm going King Von on you. I'm making sure I'm pushing you. I'm making sure you have a bad day. I don't care if you're a DF Pinnacle. I don't care if you're the top 1%. I don't care if you're a famous Twitch streamer. If I see you in my POI, I'm pushing you. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jace Numbers. I am a VTuber and Twitch streamer that plays Delta Force pretty much every single day. And today I'm going to be showing you guys my rotation on Zero Damn Easy. I feel like many people has been asking me, why do I only play Zero Damn Easy rather than other maps? I am usually playing this game solo half the time, so whenever I'm not playing with friends, I don't play other maps. It's going, I would just want to play a map that is very small that I can extract with a few PvPs. There's all sorts of issues when I play with random fails, and not to say every random is bad. It's a bad player. It could just be simply because of ping difference, or they just go off by themselves. So that's why I'm doing solos a lot. Okay, so there's two common spawns where I land. It's either gonna be in cement plant or visitor center. So we're gonna focus right now in cement plant. So it doesn't really matter which point of entrance you're landing, and we're gonna pick this point right here, for example. We're gonna start off here. This is a spawn point. This is when you're landing in the game. Now here, if you look at the maps, there is about 2 other spawn points here, and I'm gonna change color so you guys can see it more stronger. Right here and right here, and there's one right here as well. Keep in mind that every POI, especially these bigger ones, there's always going to be 3 teams in total spawning. That is you included. So there's going to be 2 other enemies teams, and it's as well your team. So wherever you land, and if you land in cement plant, assume there's always going to be a team in the outskirts of you and always going to be on top of you. That's always my assumptions. So I want you guys to understand that I played Zero Damn so much to the point that I understand where people might drop, people might land, and I start making these calculations like, hey, when I'm going to start PvPing, when should I start popping pills, what should I do off the get-go. And this is kind of where I'm teaching you guys as well some basic game knowledge, right? If you're landing in cement plant, right, the first thing you should do, obviously, people want to say, oh, just loot it up quickly. Well, it takes less than 2 to 3 minutes till people approach your POI, especially these guys out here. These guys have more of a drop on you rather than you have on them. So if I ever land cement plant, I'm taking height immediately, and I'm looting these stuff in the top part, because there's still loot on top. You can loot while people are adjusting. You hear people usually making noise in barracks, and that's typically what people do. And I normally, once I know if there's people shooting over here, I was like, okay, I got a couple of seconds to loot on this side of the end before people start approaching. And if there's people down here, typically what they do is they shoot this RPG guy right here, and then they try to make their way here, or sometimes they come through this little ledge right here. It really depends, but this is kind of a longer route for them to take, so it's usually this entrance right here. So now we know the spawn points of the enemies, right? Let's actually talk about the loot itself. You came here for the loot route, right? Not to little small minor details, but that was just me explaining why I always think of that way. And also, this applies to visitor, this applies to admin. You always assume the closest POIs is where people is going to spawn. This is the official website, by the way. Go to DeltaForceMaps.com, and it gives you Zero Damn, Rakesh, Space City, every single little details. And as well, you can see here the spawns, enables, paid extractions. It's more of you understanding the map itself to be comfortable when you're walking. I feel like a lot of people just jump into the game and start learning the game. Like, okay, I know the sections of the map, and they don't really analyze the small little details, which those details can get you more money in the run. So use this website to your advantage so you can extract more with money, but also avoid fights. And also, if you want to get PvP, you can assume where you could get the drop on someone. In short versions, this is kind of like a U or a V. Typically, there's going to be loot in these small buildings here, so I always look at that. Now, obviously, once it's safe to loot, my main goal is to look for loot, right? So I'm hitting cement trucks, I'm looking for bird's nests, I'm looking for doors, computers, I'm looking for those small little details. That's why I usually make sure I loot the whole POI cement first, before I make my movement. Once I loot a cement plant, I'm rotating. I'm hitting this cement truck up here, blue items, and that can increase my value. So I hit in that, and then I make my way to barracks. But usually in this building right here, if you go to the second floor, there's always a laptop there, guarantee. And that laptop usually has a RAM or some kind of blue item, so make sure you hit that. If it's already looted, then just look for other scraps that are blue tier. You don't really have to stick too long, or just go to the second floor and then you just make your way out. There's other stuff like mission events, like safe boxes. If you see safe boxes, feel free to do them. Those missions sometimes have good high tier loot. I usually do safe boxes towards the end of the game just because everyone's extracting, and it's much more a safer play to do them rather than doing them early. So if you have like the last 10 minutes of the game and you have safe boxes in your game, just go and do them real quickly, and then try to look for the nearest extraction. Because not only when you do safe boxes, what it does, it gives you enough money to do paid extractions, so you get 15k at minimum. And usually on easy mode, it's literally 10k for extraction, so you keep 5k when you do these safe boxes missions, and you don't really lose much. And like I said, the last 10 minutes are probably the safest time to be looting everywhere, because everyone's already extracting, everyone already hit the admins, the hotspot, they're already leaving the game. And there is someone lurking, it just means your chances of dying has dropped tremendously. So obviously once you're done looting barracks, we're going to admin. You come out through this tunnel, it's much more safer and quicker. You don't really have to loot anything on the way here. There is a cement truck around here, but I don't really find it to be as useful as going through this side. The reason why, there's a hidden stash here, and there's also a little small building. These usually have typically some stuff in it, so I loot those. People has always tell me why I don't go to admin center immediately off drop, and let me explain it. When you're trying to push admin center off drop, you have to clear NPCs. You're gonna waste bullets, you're gonna waste ammo, you're sometimes gonna take damage, and you don't want your armor plates to take damage either if it's not high tier. Because obviously on easy mode, because every bullet can cost you somewhat of money, especially with blue ammo being 600 usually right now at this price, you're gonna be wasting a lot of bullets. Not only that, you can assume a lot of the players off drop will rush admin as well, so you're gonna be doing a lot of PvP. It's kind of a risky disky move, because if you're not comfortable doing PvP, and let's say you're a newer player, chances are you're gonna most likely die and give your stuff to the other players. And I tell people, you know, if you're not comfortable doing PvP off the get-go, off the drop, don't push admin. You don't have to push admin. You know, there's a lot of POIs that are very safer. You know, you can reduce your PvP by a whole lot than pushing admin. And usually admin, the only good stuff is usually on the second floor. So whenever people pushes admin, guess what? The whole second floor is most likely going to be looted. Sometimes people avoid admin at all costs, and sometimes admin is untouched. It's very rare, but it happens on easy mode more often than you think. So when I'm coming from military to admin, because I'm Hacklaw, I start scanning my surrounding. I'm scanning once I'm right here in this entrance right here. My first thing I'm doing, this first POI, is scanning. You know, is there somebody up here? What I typically do is scan on top, make sure my surroundings are safe. Obviously, there might be some NPCs lurking, but I don't clear them. I don't kill NPCs unless it's necessary. I use NPCs as a watchdog. NPCs, when they see another operator, guess what? They're gonna shoot the operator. That's why I don't kill NPCs. You will see me half the time when I'm playing by myself. I might kill a few NPCs because they're in the way and they're trying to make noise. You're gonna alert the other operators that I'm nearby. But usually if I see NPC like walk in front of me, I'll just try to avoid him and go to a different route and make sure he's still walking, because it's much more safer for me to know that there's bots still in my POI than actual operators. And since I'm a Hacklaw, I'm making sure, like, oh yeah, there's nobody in my POI, so I'm safe for looting, and I got this bodyguard essentially just free roaming for me, so I use them instead of killing them. And like I said, second floor, usually an admin, by the time you're rotating from cement plant, is usually looted, so everything's ransacked, there's nothing there. But the most important thing I want to tell you guys is that admin is a very big POI. Just because second floor is looted, it doesn't mean that first floor and ground floor is looted. And that's where you're gonna get most of your extra stuffs. You might get some blue items, you might still get some purple items. You will essentially get still some scraps even if you come here at the very late of the game. And I want people to understand that you don't have to be here early to get the good stuff. Even late game, there's still scraps. The first 5 to 10 minutes is looting this both POIs. Once you make it here, people are pretty much just already leaving admin. They're probably rotating to you, to this side, or they're probably making their way out to the nearest extraction, or they're pulling that gate over here. Usually when you get there, people are already about to leave because they already looted the whole admin section, and yeah, they're trying to avoid fighting extract. By looting admin, you should be right now hitting at least 300k minimum of loot. If you not hit 300k minimum of loot, that simply means that you didn't loot properly, because there should be enough loot here to give you at least 200k, and right here should be at least 225. You'd be leaving admin with at least 300k or even 400k. If for some reason you're not hitting quota, right, and I tell people, you know, sometimes it is RNG based, sometimes you can't find enough scraps, you have to take another route. You have to be able to be comfortable to do quotas. So look for missions, start doing missions as well to hit quota. Or what you could do is, instead of it going for extraction already, and if you haven't hit quota and you looted this part, quickly come into majors and you're doing a full sweep here. You come through this entrance, you're going through this building right here, and instead of actually extraction from your POI, because it could be last 5 minutes, hit all this section, go into this building, leave from this building here. You still got a couple of seconds still. It's not going to kill you. Check all this. Check the trash bin. Second floor of this. Come out way and make your way out to paid extraction. You have to do a mission. And usually there is some missions lurking from here. There's a mission over here. There's probably a mission over here. You do those missions quickly as you go. I think the easiest one is killing like the NPCs right here. That's probably the easiest one. There's some right here as well. They're called HVT eliminations. If you could get those quickly done, you have enough for a paid extraction, and you should be hitting quota right there, at least at 400k. But anyways, once you're leaving, like I said, these are like the last 10 minutes. Make sure if your bag isn't full, just start putting random things in it, like green stuff, and always try to take an NPC's gun back with you. I always tell people, you have a gun slot, right? Take an NPC's gun. It could be worth about 10k. Hey, guess what? That's like a blue item. It's worth 10k. Don't leave that behind. Make sure your backpack is full to the brim. Make sure your gun slots are full. Make sure if you want to make sure everything is compact, making that value go up. Now, of course, people might assume like, well, Snubbles, what if I die on my way out? That's possible. You can die on your way out. There's been cases where there have been late looters as well. I always tell people, don't be afraid of PvP. You will have to contest sometimes these POIs, and that's why I explained in the beginning that sometimes these POIs, you would assume there's going to be 2 other teams. But be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to let the heebie-jeebies out of your system. Don't be nervous. Don't feel like you should be corner picking every single time you're leaving out this POIs. Don't be like, okay, I'm going to take it slow. If you are afraid of doing looting, and you are playing with a 3-man team, that means you have to improve on yourself first. You have to be comfortable being in PvP fights every single time. You have to be comfortable getting shot by another player. You have to be comfortable looking for other players actively. A route is meant for you to actively go get good loot, but also actively looking for fights as well. PvP is the best form of you getting more loot. Guess what? Most times people that are sweaty players, they will bring in purple armor. They're going to bring in blue ammo. They're going to bring guns that are worth more than 200k. Sometimes they're going to bring in gear tickets that are like purple or blue. Guess what? Those things are worth more than the average items you find in these POIs. Safe boxes might have a red item, a gold item, even a purple item. But guess what? Sometimes the gold item doesn't go more than 100k. Sometimes the red item is worth 300k, but those are very rare occasions that you get them. But guess what? A gun from an operator, especially if it's a sweat, it could be worth more than 200k, 300k. Guess what? Now you already have 300k from your first POI. All you gotta do is loot one more POI and you're up to 400 to 500k. And guess what? When you're greedy like me and you're someone who's sweaty, I'm gonna be making sure I get out with the most I can. I don't care if I got 1 million in my pockets and there's still like 20 minutes remaining. Guess what? I'm still looting. I'm still pushing through. I see you on my route. Guess what? I'm shooting you with the gun I just picked up. I don't care if I lose it. It's the whole point of the game. You're trying to escape with the most loot. So if you are an operator, I see you as a loot box. Honestly, as a solo player, maybe you're a little bit hesitant, and it's okay. Not everyone's comfortable with PvP. If you're someone not comfortable with fighting and you already met quota, let's say you kill a full team, you met quota already, and you don't want to lose it to another team, okay, that's perfectly fine, man. You did your PvP part, you have met quota, just leave. At that point, just leave. But if you did PvP and they were wearing like very cheap stuff, hey man, you gotta push it through and make your runs worth the while. Because people are telling me like, why not do normal, why not do Brakesh, Space City, higher tier loot? Guess what? You're gonna lose more money going to those than actually extracting. And I tell people, it doesn't mean because you're the best player in the world, you're able to extract multiple times from that map. It gets expensive, man. You have to have a full 3-man. You have to have gold bullets. You have to have the best armor. You have to have a good gun that actually does damage to people. You're bringing like 600k every single time for your run. I'm not trying to lose $1 million every single time. Especially if I don't have a full 3-man, especially if I'm playing with randoms, especially if I'm solo queuing. I don't have time to lose millions and millions of dollars. And people might say, well, if you find a red item, you can get your money back. But that's if I extract with the red item. And most of the time when it's bigger red items, they're worth more and it go to your backpack. They don't fit in your safe box. So you're making assumptions that you're going to make it out getting those big tier stuff. I'm a solo player by heart. And if I have a duo, we play other maps. There's no way I'm extracting. There's no way by myself I'm extracting Space City by myself because I know there's so many sweaty players that are just constantly lurking. I don't want to lose millions. And guess what? This maps can get you $1 million every single time in the run. There's so many things you can look at. There's bird's nest. There's safe boxes. There's missions on easy mode. Sometimes there's even breaks that spawns on easy mode. But I tell people, it's gonna take a little bit longer than you usually do. People is like, well, I just want to be in the map for 15 minutes and I'm out. And that go, no. If you're just doing 15 minutes and you're hitting for admin, sometimes you extract with like 400 or 500k. Sure, you meet quota, but your bag is not really full to the brim. You want to be full to the brim. You want to be greedy. You want to have millions. You don't want to leave with like 500k off drop and be like, okay, that's good enough. Sure, it's good enough for some players, but like I said, I want to be full to the brim, making sure there's not enough storage, and then come back and do it again. But it also gives you the experience of looting. The more you understand the game knowledge, how people approach your POI, how you're gonna move, how you're gonna approach other players, you know, what are my safe spots, where can I go for extraction, you know, what are my paid extractions, you know, what is the levers. That's what I want you to understand. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys next time, and yeah, I love you guys. Bye.